So hi, welcome to VENUES podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Lela, and we're from VENUES.
And we have some questions today about the upcoming album Transience. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Thank you, first of all. The response, was pretty good so far, I would say. So we got a lot of fans really waiting for the release and being excited about it, just like we are. So that's perfect.
Hell yeah, the album fucking rocks. It's so good.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course.
Of course. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the competition for us was to find a word that sums up like all the songs and the meanings and the lyrics of the whole record, and we really wanted to, like we did with the previous ones where we had like Aspire and Solace, and we want to have another one-word record. And so we had a lot of discussion about this, and in the end we thought that that the word transience and the meaning of it is maybe the perfect word that sums up all the songs and the lyrics, because there's kind of a transience in every song and all the lyrics, and that's why we went with that.
I know this is kind of what you guys have been doing with your albums, but is there any sort of difficulty for you guys in taking a project and feeling like you have to summarize it in one word, with that being the album title? Or does it like come easily for you guys?
Well, I would say the last two albums were pretty, the names happened pretty naturally, since Solace gave us the whole album process, gave us Solace, so it was easy to take that word.
Mm-hmm.
And now Transience, it's not only, it fits not only the songs and the meaning behind that, but also our personal, band-wise, growing way through the last 2 years. So we had a few words that were that had a pretty similar meaning, but this one, it sounded the best. Transience is a nice word for telling. You can say it and it sounds good. So
and it's also a word that also the Germans know how to pronounce.
Oh yes.
Perfect.
Most of them.
So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
This time we didn't have like one studio appointment when we recorded Solace, we've been to the studio like 2 weeks, and we recorded all the songs at once. And this time with Transience, we started putting out singles 2 years ago, and we only went to the studio for 3 songs, and then I guess maybe half a year later we went to the studio again for the next 3 songs. And the last time we were in the studio was last November for the last 4 songs. Mm-hmm. So it took more time, the whole process, and like that we had the chance to really focus on the songs themselves, and we didn't have to hurry in any way. Mm-hmm. And that made the whole process a bit less stressful, I'd say.
For sure. Because you were breaking up the sessions into just like breaking apart by months, did you find yourself kind of drifting away from the original concept of the record since you had a lot of space in between?
Actually, we didn't really plan to have an album ready now at that time. So we were not really working towards that album from the beginning on. We were just working on the next songs. Mm-hmm. And that took out the whole pressure, I guess. Yeah.
And so then at what point during that process did the album kind of take shape for you guys?
I would say with the last studio session, actually, because the first 2 sessions were like, we were pretty much focused only on writing and producing singles, like creating content that we can release, and yeah, to show the world that we are still there, drop some new music, create some buzz. But yeah, especially with the last session, where we planned to record and produce 4 songs, we really had to start thinking about, okay, these will actually be the last 4 songs, and then we will have 10 songs. How should the whole album be, and what kind of shape do we want to go for this time? So definitely the last session was the very important one when it comes to the final record, because we made a lot of decisions here, how everything should sound, and yeah, how, like, what colors would fit the sound, and what about the front cover and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. All right. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Well, I mean, it's kind of tricky for us to tell this, because most of the songs were created, or maybe all of the songs were created by our guitar player and also our live bassist. And I'm not really sure how long they have been working on these songs before they showed them to us. And then we all, as a band, started to work with these songs to make a final track out of it. Maybe Lela, maybe you know more,
Yeah.
but
I think maybe Radiate Me took a bit longer than the others. When we hit the studio back then, we rewrote the whole chorus in the studio, so the song sounded nothing like it was like it did before we hit the studio. So maybe it's Radiate Me, or for me it's Homecoming,
Coming Home.
because Coming Home. Oh yeah, sorry. Because that was the first song ever that I wrote on the instruments, on the piano, and that took me a pretty long time. And still in the studio, we changed a lot of the playing in the notes in the song. But I think overall, I would say it's Radiate Me.
All right. And favorites off the album?
Yes, I think for me it's definitely Coming Home.
I think for me it's Godspeed Goodbye, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all right. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, well, actually I gave this decision to our instrumentalists in the band, and I told them, okay guys, try to make and create the perfect flow of the record. And then the other boys just started discussing around and all that stuff. And in the end, they showed us like 2 or 3 options how the track list could be. And I think then we said, okay, this one looks pretty good. And I mean, one thing that was kind of pretty clear for us was that Coming Home should be the last song on this album. But yeah, I think it's kind of a tricky question. I think it's kind of a very, you can go pretty deep when it comes to making a track list. What's the perfect flow, and how should one song end and the next one begin? So to be honest, for me, this is not that important anymore, especially nowadays where everyone is listening to the singles, and people who really listen to a whole record getting smaller and smaller, like the amount of them. But yeah, that's how we did it actually. I wasn't really involved in this decision. I just checked the final result and said, okay guys, looks good, let's do it like that.
Fair enough. As much as we love albums, you know, there is something to say about how important singles are. So since you mentioned it, I'd like to know, like, what kind of process was there for you guys in picking the singles, because obviously that's where the focus is these days.
I mean, most of the time we just were writing songs, producing them, and we had to choose them as singles because there was like nothing else there. So it was a pretty easy decision. The only hard decision that we had was with the last studio session where we recorded and produced 4 songs. And then we had to think about, okay, which 2 songs won't end up as a single or as a focus track. So yeah, basically we released the whole album before were out, like 7 songs as singles. Then of course we also have one focus track which represents the record when it comes out. So yeah, I think that was the only, but yeah, pretty hard decision for us to think about, okay, which songs won't be singles.
Yeah. There's irony in that, because typically it's, you've got the collection of songs, you got to pick which ones are singles. You guys are picking which ones aren't singles. There's like a little bit of irony in that,
That's right. Yeah.
So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
I think it's hard to say because it took so long. It was a process for 2 years. So it wasn't like one feeling that we had over the whole writing process. I think it's like different, and maybe you can hear a small development in the songs when you listen to Reflections was the first single, and now maybe Godspeed Goodbye. But all in all, I would say we had some changes in the band. So the lineup in the band changed. We said goodbye to a longest member of the band, and he also was writing songs when he was in the band. So that was, I think, with the first 3 songs, he was still involved, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, and after that, we had to think about a new way of songwriting a bit. It wasn't that hard because Valentin, our guitarist, also wrote the songs. But yeah, it all felt kind of like endings and new beginnings, like the word transience, where it fits so well. So yeah, maybe there were a lot of changes going on, but in a positive way. And that was always a feeling that we had in mind while writing, I'd say.
Yeah, that's good.
Robin, was it similar for you?
Yes, definitely. And also, I think, for me and Lela, we also put a lot of personal stuff into the lyrics this time, definitely more than on Solace. And I think everyone had some hard times this year and also last year. And especially for me, I put a lot of personal stuff into Reflections. In Radiate Me and also in Braille, which are, in the end now 2 pretty personal songs for me. So, but also what Lela said, like a lot of internal structure changes, and in the end it was like really looking in the future, and this was our way to go.
Gotcha. Is there any sort of anxiety in putting out songs where you guys have put more of yourself personally into than on the last album, or are you guys just like, it's a song, it is what it is, and just put it out there, since there is more of you in it this time around?
I would say you can answer it.
I think we definitely get more comfortable with the whole thing, like putting a lot of personal emotions and topics into the songs. The only thing that I still feel a little bit strange about is sometimes in interviews, if you just give out the song and everyone's listening to them, then usually no one really gets like the real topic, what happened here, as it's like kind of a metaphoric stuff, But sometimes on interviews you just get asked about it, and sometimes I'm not sure here if we really should share the whole story or just keep it to ourselves so that everyone can put their own story into the song while listening to it. That's my feeling about it. But I think in general it's getting more easier just to talk about all the stuff that happened.
That's good. Is it similar for you, Lela?
Yeah, it's almost the same, and I think you get used to it from time to time, and we have a lot of people coming to us after the shows and telling us that they really felt the songs and the lyrics behind them, and that they found solace in them maybe. So that's something that makes me feel good about it, and that tells me that I shouldn't stop putting personal stuff in here because there's so many things that others feel the same. And how would you know if you didn't talk about it? So.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you guys personally recommend?
Ooh.
Oh. For me personally, I like to listen to albums while driving around. Maybe like on a road trip. Windows down and volume up. That would be cool.
All right.
Hell yeah.
I would say take this album with you to the gym and give it a spin
All right.
while pumping iron.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Hell yeah. So this one should be super, super quick off top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
My 3 words are rough, emotional, catchy.
That's
Damn,
good.
That's good.
Okay, I would go with emotional, but I have to choose other words, right?
As
We'll
long
give
as
you
you're not,
one.
3 and 3.
Yeah.
You can pick just one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I would go with emotional, of course, and maybe deep, lyric-wise, meaningful, and funny
All right.
at some point. Yeah.
All right. We'll take it.
All right. Yeah.
And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I would say it would be cool if people would listen to the album and reflect about maybe themselves, their situations, and see what they can maybe take from this album. If there's anything that makes them feel like they're not alone and there's a way, and yeah, you know what I mean, that would be perfect feeling of hope.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Definitely this. And maybe just feeling feeling to bang your head to it and just having maybe a good time to rock out.
Yeah, that also.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Not too.
So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Yeah, for me, it was a challenge to write the Coming Home song on the piano. Definitely, and it will be a challenge to learn this for life, for putting it out on stage, which will be weeks. So I'm learning. This is a challenge, but the positive way, I would say. And negative, but turned out positive, would be the change of the songwriters in the first place. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think the most negative thing first was that we parted ways with our old member and songwriter, and felt a little bit scared to hit the studio without him for the first time in years. But yeah, it turned out great, and it was a way new experience. And for me personally, it was better than ever before.
That's good. Happy to hear you guys adjusted well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. One more thing is that Robin is singing with clean vocals for the first time.
Oh, yes.
Ayo.
Yeah. That's amazing. Are you nervous about that? Finally doing it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it was kind of strange because if you sing in the studio, everyone is sitting in the producer room and everyone's listening, and then you have to go to the microphone. All right, now it's time to prove that you can sing a little bit. That was a very, very intense moment, but I think it was, especially the boys were pretty surprised. I think our drummer had a few tears in his eyes. And it was pretty cool for me. And I'm very proud how it turned out on the record. So world premiere.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
Hell yeah. So for this question, we want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Ooh, on tour.
Hmm.
Mhm.
There's always too much fast food on tour.
Yeah.
You burn it off. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
I think our all-time favorite snack of Joe's is always like chips, I'd say,
Mm.
like
Mhm.
potato chips. Lila
Yeah.
and Mila love them, and
Yeah.
usually one of us is getting a package and has to share it.
Yes.
Perfect.
And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
It would definitely be vegan.
Okay.
Okay.
And oh, the whole band or the members, the whole band, right?
I usually say like the whole band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the members are the ingredients put into.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Maybe it would be a band of potato chips.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, why not? Or maybe some tasty vegan hot dogs with a lot of mayonnaise and ketchup.
Ooh, yum.
That's good
Mhm.
too. All right. And for the last couple questions, it's going to shift completely away from music. So, if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
Hmm. Oh. Oh.
I think I would like to be an albatross just to experience flying around the world
Mhm.
and yeah, seeing the world from a plane view.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Badass.
All right.
Yes, yeah, I thought about something bird-like too. But if you're an albatross, I think I would be an elephant because I love
Ooh.
elephants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking love elephants. Hell yeah. And if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Janis Joplin, because she brought
Oh.
me when I was a kid,
Mm.
and yes.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think I would choose Chris Breeze. He's the former vocalist of VENUES,
Mhm.
and he's one of the musicians who brought me into the whole music scene and inspired me a lot to start with harsh vocals and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right. Hell
Hell
yeah. And for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you guys bringing?
Huh. Um, okay, I would bring a movie, maybe. How is it called? Oh, how is this movie called? Okay, I'm coming back to the movie later. An album, I would definitely take Transience because it's the best album out there.
Perfect.
There you go.
Good plug.
And for a person, I would take my dog, maybe.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
What's your dog's name?
definitely. Roxy.
Hi, Roxy.
Hi, Roxy.
Yeah, she's sleeping. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of movies, so the movie question is hard. And I forgot how the one that I like was called.
All good.
Fair enough.
It was a movie, an album, and a person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Then for me, I'd say movie-wise, I would go with Fight Club.
Ooh.
Album-wise, I choose the Gaslight Anthem with the 59 sound.
Ooh. Yeah.
And yeah, person-wise, I would choose my best friend, Michael,
That's
to
good.
Hell
come
yeah.
with me and get lost.
Hell
Yeah.
All right. And as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Yeah, maybe we can say thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts to everyone who has listened to our music so far and maybe bought some merch and went to a show because actually we already shipped a few merch packages out to the US yet.
Oh, wow.
So thank you for that if you're listening to this right now. And yeah, check out our latest record, Transience, and tell us which is your favorite song and why.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you. So this guy's been Robin and Lela from Venues, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.